In this video, the students will get to know more about inequality and what it stands for. In mathematics, people are more conversant or people know more about equality sign more than inequality sign. Example, we have been dealing with this equal to. This is known as equal to. We have been dealing with this for far too long. But of a truth, there are some problems that equal to cannot handle. Those problems that equal to cannot handle, it is only inequality signs that take care of them. You must have also played with inequality, but for some reasons, you guys might not know that what you have used or what the comments or the statements that you have used mathematically translates to inequality. Now, without wasting much of your time, let me buttress or let me state categorically those problems that equality sign cannot handle. Example, you cannot tell me that 400 is equals to 500. Come on, this is very bad. So this is absolutely false. No human being will subscribe to this. Now, if you want to say that 600 is more than 300, so this is correct. But pay attention to this. This is not equality sign. So these problems that equality sign cannot handle is handled by inequality. That does not mean we should mock or we should make jest of equality sign. It's just that equality sign cannot take care of them. We have to appreciate the signs that can take care of them, and those signs are inequality signs. So let me come here and get rid of this. Now, if you pay attention to this line, we say inequality consists of the following signs. We have here this sign is known as less than sign. This is greater than. This is less than or equal to. And this is greater than or equals to. So, as we continue in this chapter, the student will be able to understand how each and every one of the inequality signs will be used. Now, pay attention to this example. The example says solve the inequality. So let's bring it down. X plus 4 less than 6. So you solve this the same way you solve normal linear equation. We have 4 here, we have 6, but we have only one variable, which is x. So what we must do here is to write collect like terms. We have to say collect like terms. When you do that, we have our x less than 6. This plus 4 will cross this inequality sign, which is less than. When it does that, it becomes minus. We then have x less than 6 minus 4 will give us 2. So that's the answer. And when you scroll up here, you find out that x, you have to pay attention to the sign. X is less than, the sign is less than there. X is less than 2. So option D is good to go. So you have to pay attention to not just your answer, you pay attention to the sign that go along with the answer. So the inequality here is less than, not greater than. So that's the answer. So the question says, solve the inequality 2y minus 5 less than 3. So when we come here, we bring it down, we have 2y, we have minus 5, we have less than 3. As expected, you don't need to waste your time at all. You just write collect like terms the same way you go about linear equations. So it implies that 2y will be less than, we have 3, Minus 5 will go and meet this guy. That means it has to cross this less than inequality sign. If it does that, the sign changes from minus to plus. So we'll have 2y less than 3 plus 5 will give us 8. But you and I clearly know that 2y is equals to 2 multiplied by y. This is what I taught under our linear equation. So in place of this guy, I replace it with 2 times y less than what? 8. So our interest is to find y, and to find y, we have to divide both sides. We say divide both sides by 2. When we do that, we'll have 2 multiplied by y divided by 2 less than 8 divided by 2. So these 2 will cancel these 2. If it does that, y falls down. 8 divided by 2 will be less than 4. So absolutely the answer is 4. The answer is not just 4. Pay attention. We'll have y less than 4. So you have to put it into account. So we have y less than 4. Where is y less than 4? So it's option E. Option E is good to go. So that's our answer. So we have this. The question says, find the value of x that satisfies the inequality. So we have 5x minus 3 greater than 7. So we have options that range from A to E. So let's come here and bring down the question. So we have 5x minus 3 is greater than 7. So with this being said, if you pay attention, we have minus 3, we also have 7 here. So the best we can do is to collect like terms. When we collect like terms here, it turns out to be that 5x will be greater than 7 plus 3 because minus 3 crossed this greater than inequality sign. So this implies that 5x will be greater than 7 plus 3 will give us 10. But keep in mind, 5x is the same thing as saying 5 multiplied by x. So in a nutshell, in place of 5x, I will replace it with 5 multiplied by x greater than 10. So as you proceed, our interest is to get x, not 5 times x. So to achieve that, we already have multiplication here. To deal with multiplication, you divide. We say divide both sides. We must divide both sides by 5 so that x will be alone. If this happens, we'll have 5 multiplied by x divided by 5 greater than 10 divided by 5. This cancels this. S falls down. We then have x greater than 10 divided by 5 will obviously give us 2. So this is the answer. But then pay attention to this sign. We have greater than sign, so it has to be respected. Then let's scroll up to verify our options. This, our option will be obviously 2. Anyway, we did not see sign being included here, which I believe is an oversight from them, but that's okay. That is obviously the answer. So feel free to go through the steps so as to know much about what this is all about. The same technique that we use in linear equation, this is the same way that we approach, except in some cases that involves division by minus. When you have negative dividing, the sign will flip. But when we get to such example, it will be very clearer to the student. So stay tuned. The question says, solve the inequality. So pay attention to this inequality. But let me come here and bring it down. We'll have 3x plus 4 less than 8 plus 2x. So as expected, we must treat this the same way we treat linear equation. So we have x, we have x, we have constant, we have constant. That's numbers without variables attached to it. So for this reason, we must collect like terms. So when we do that, we have 3x. So this plus 2x must come over here to make 3x. If it does that, it means that it must pass this less than inequality sign. If it does that, this plus here would change to minus. So let's come here to demonstrate it. We then have minus 2x because it has crossed this less than inequality sign. They will bring down the less than inequality sign. We have our 8. This 8 is waiting to receive 4 or plus 4. For plus 4 to meet this 8, it must also cross this sign. And once it does that, the plus sign changes to minus. So this guy minus this will give you 1x less than this minus this will give you 4. But keep in mind that in mathematics, 1x is the same thing as x. So it implies that x is less than 4. Now pay attention to the entire thing, more especially this less than 4. Because if you misses the sign, oh, it will be a serious issue. So option C is good to go. So that's the answer, x less than 4. The question says, find the range of values of x for which 2x plus 5 less than or equals to 3. So we must come here and bring down the question, which is 2x plus 5 less than or equals to 3. As expected, the same way we treat linear equation, we have plus 5 as a constant, we have 3, which is also a constant. So we have to say collect like terms. When we say collect like terms, it then implies that 2x less than or equal to, we have to write down our 3 because this 3 is expecting plus 5 to come and meet it. If plus 5 does that, this plus sign changes to minus. It becomes minus. Then it implies that 2x will be less than or equal to 3 minus 5 will give us minus 2. But keep in mind that 2x is 2 multiplied by x. This is what I taught you guys the time I introduced linear equation. So I will advise you to pay attention more to linear equation, at least before or watching this video or before attempting to solve more of this. Then it implies that in place of this 2x, we replace it with this. We have 2 multiplied by x less than or equals to minus 2. Our interest is to get x, not to get 2 times x. So the remedy for that is to divide both sides. We say divide both sides. We must divide both sides by 2. So it implies that 2 multiplied by x divided by 2 less than or equals to minus 2 divided by 2. This cancel this. We have x less than or equals to minus 2 divided by 2 will give you minus 1. So all our effort has produced x less than or equals to minus 1. So let's scroll up and verify from the options. The option that has it here is still option C. Option C is good to go. So that's the answer. The question says solve the inequality. So let me bring it down. We have x less than 9 minus 2x. So the same pattern, you collect like terms as if you are dealing with linear equation. So when you collect like terms here, we have x minus 2x must cross this less than sign to go and meet this guy. If it does that, the minus sign turns to what? Plus. We have 2x. Then we have our less than. We have 9. 9 is all alone because there is no other constant apart from 9. So you know clearly that 1x is the same thing as x. So if that is the case, I replace this x with 1x, then plus 2x less than 9. Then 1x plus 2x will give me 3x. 3x less than what? 9. But keep in mind that 3x is the same thing as saying 3 multiplied by x. So this will give us, in place of 3x, we have to substitute this. So we'll have 3 multiplied by x less than 9. So the next is to divide both sides. We said we divide both sides by 3. So we'll have 3 multiplied by x divided by 3 less than 9 divided by 3. This cancel this. We have that our x will be absolutely less than, because 9 will be divided by 3 to give us 3. The question says solve the inequality. We have the inequality here, which is 5x minus 2 greater than or equals to 8. As expected, collect like terms, because you have to pretend as if you are dealing with linear equation. When you do that, we have our 5x minus 2 will cross this inequality sign to come and meet 8. If it does that, it turns out to be plus. We have greater than or equals to 8 plus 2. We have 5x greater than or equals to 8 plus 2 will give us 10. But keep in mind that 5x is equals to 5 multiplied by x. So with this being said, it implies that 5 multiplied by x greater than or equals to what? Equals to 10. So we are looking for x. So the best way to achieve it is to divide because of the presence of this multiplication sign. We said divide both sides. We must divide both sides by 5 so as to get the value of x. So it implies that 5 multiplied by x, all divided by 5, will be greater than or equals to 10, also divided by 5. So this 5 will cancel this 5, x falls down, greater than or equals to 10 divided by 5 will obviously give us 2. So this is our answer. We have x greater than or equals to 2. So let's scroll up to verify. X greater than, okay, option B is good to go. So this is our answer. The question says, solve the inequality. So let us drop the inequality down. We'll have 4y plus 8 less than 12. So as expected, let's come here and collect like terms. I'm giving you guys more examples to make sure you will not have excuses to give. So this implies that 4y less than 12, because this guy will cross this inequality sign. If he crosses it, it becomes minus 8. We'll have 4y less than 12 minus 8 will give us 4. But keep in mind that 4y is the same thing as saying 4 multiplied by y. So in place of 4y, use this to replace it. We'll have 4 multiplied by y less than 4. Don't forget that what we are looking for is y, not 4, or not 4 times y. So for that reason, we must divide both sides. We say divide both sides. You have to divide both sides by 4. We'll have 4 multiplied by y divided by 4 less than 4 divided by 4. This cancel this, we'll have y. This cancel this, so we'll have 1. So this is our answer. Y is less than 1. So let us scroll up and verify. So we have this as the answer. Y is less than 1. Option E is good to go. The question says, solve the inequality. So bring the inequality down. We have 7x is greater than 5x minus 8. So pretend as if you are dealing with linear equation. So we have 7x. This guy has positive sign. It has to cross this inequality sign. If it does that, the sign changes to minus. We have right minus 5 greater than minus 8. Only 8 will be left alone because 8 has no other terms that is also constant like it. 7x minus 5x will give us 2x. 2x is greater than minus 8. Then do not forget that 2x is the same as saying 2 multiplied by x. In place of this 2x, use this to change it. So we have 2 multiplied by x greater than minus 8. We are asked to find x, not to find 2 times x. So we write divide both sides. We must divide both sides by 2. If we do that, it implies that 2 multiplied by x divided by 2 is greater than minus 8 divided by 2. So this cancel this cancel this. Our x falls down greater than minus 4. So that's what is left. So this is our answer. But let's go up. If we scroll up, let's view this again. Yes. So pay attention to option C. Option C goes for the right. So that's the answer. The question says solve 2 over 7 in bracket x minus 1 greater than 6. So let us bring it down. So anytime you see anything that looks like equation, but it contains inequality sign, just know that it is an inequality that you are dealing with. You are not dealing with a linear equation. So this is the same as saying this 2 over 7 in bracket x minus this is the same as saying 2 over 7 multiplied by x minus 1, which is the same as saying 2 in bracket x minus 1 divided by 7. So it implies that in place of this, we have to bring down this to replace it. So we have 2 in bracket x minus 1 over 7 is greater than 6. So the next that should be done here will be, we know that this side is the left-hand side and this is the right-hand side. The left-hand side contains a fractional part, the right-hand side doesn't. It will be in our best interest to also ensure that the right-hand side contains a fractional part. By so doing, it implies that 2 in bracket x minus 1 over 7 will then be greater than. In place of this, we use this to replace it. We have 6 over 1. So when we cross multiply here, this sign makes us to cross multiply. Like I said, you have to pretend as if you are dealing with linear equation. And 7 will multiply our 6. So this times this will give us the same 2 in bracket x minus 1. We'll have this times this is 42. We must use 2 to multiply everything inside this bracket. 2 times x is 2x, 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, greater than 42. So at this juncture, I must collect like terms. So this implies that 2x greater than 42 minus 2 crosses inequality sign becomes plus 2. Bring it down. So we have 2x greater than 44. But keep in mind that 2x is the same thing as 2 multiplied by x. Then take this and replace with this. So this implies that 2 multiplied by x is greater than 44. So we must come here and divide both sides. Say divide both sides. We have to divide both sides by 2 so that x will be found. So we have 2 multiplied by x divided by 2 greater than 44 divided by 2. 2 will cancel 2, our x will fall down, greater than 44 will be divided by 2 to give us 22. So this is our final answer. Our x is greater than 22. So let us scroll down to verify. And we verify, we find out that option A is good to go. So that's the answer. So the question says, solve the inequality. The inequality is k greater than or equals to minus 3k plus 8. So you must pay attention to this. This is greater than or equals to. So pay attention to this. Now, as expected, we'll collect like terms. We'll collect like terms. We'll have our k. We also have minus 3k. This minus 3k must meet k. It does that by crossing this inequality sign to become plus 3k. Then greater than or equals to plus 8. Don't forget that k is something as saying 1k. Then in place of k, we replace it with 1k. So we have 1k plus 3k greater than or equals to plus 8. And this plus 8 is also the same thing as writing 8 in mass. So this plus this will give us 4k greater than or equals to, in place of this, we replace it with 8. But keep in mind that 4k is the same thing as saying 4 multiplied by k. So in place of this, we replace it with this. We have 4 multiplied by k greater than or equals to 8. So we have to divide both sides. We say divide both sides by 4. So it implies that 4 multiplied by k divided by 4 greater than or equals to 8 divided by 4. 4 cancels 4, k falls down, greater than or equals to 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. So this is the answer. So let us scroll up. When we scroll up, you find out that option C is absolutely good to go. So this is the answer.